this like March Madness for so long. This is my 5th year in USA, and since I stepped here in America, I dreamed of March Madness and playing for a chip. And the first occasion I get, it's all screwed. So yeah, I'm definitely salty though.
Fakes the pass and sends it down with a tomahawk slam. Chance to win it here. Up the front. Big Georgia has the Jerome off the glass. Count it. In one. Jim Jerome. Wow.
Welcome to the Locker Room Access Podcast. This is TW, and I'm actually introducing two special guests today. This is a late night emergency podcast, but not really emergency, but it's an opportunity to talk to these guys. We haven't heard from anyone on the team in terms of how the last 48 hours or so went by, and this is I guess this early Saturday, March 14th. And we're on air with Kersey, Senior Grant Kersey, and Tomas Woldentensae. We'll get to the bottom of what his actual pronunciation is, and let's get started. All right, fellows. Thank you for joining on such a late night. Appreciate you guys taking the time. Name, we've heard Tomas. Maybe let's officially clear this up. What do you want us to call you?
Hi everybody, of course. Everybody first. But I don't know. That's the question that being asked for the past 4 years now. And you know what? Being honest, I like it. I like the mystery. I'm gonna change it over and over at this point.
I like it.
A lot of people just question me every time. I might as well keep it up, you know.
Yeah, sometimes it's Tomas, sometimes it's Thomas.
It's never gonna be clear.
Hey, as long as they're looking in your direction, right?
Right.
Hey, coming from somebody called, that everyone calls T-Dub, so I appreciate that. But first and foremost, how is your family back home? I know Grant was telling me your mom went back to a highly infectious area in northern Italy with all that's going on in this world. How are they doing?
Yeah. So I talk to friends and family every day pretty much, and they at the moment in quarantine, and it's pretty critical just by the fact that the media just puts you so much stress, and it just gives such a big alarm to people that then they get scared and don't actually know what would be the future, like economically at the moment, like everything's dropping, everything's going down. I, People don't know what's gonna be, you know. So there's a lot of freak out and a lot of stress.
So, and everyone's okay back home? No one?
Healthy wise, I don't know anybody that has it.
Okay.
So to me at the moment it's just an emotional state of alert they at because never heard nobody having it, and other cases that you hear about, they get infected but then they can easily survive and recover from it. So it's, I don't know, it's just kind of weird for everybody, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously top of mind, everything. So maybe walk me through Thursday when you guys were in Greensboro. Like, how did it go down? Was it like you guys were getting ready, usual day, and then what was the?
As you said, like personally, like I knew this would happen eventually, just because China was the first, and then Italy. So, I've been in touch to this situation already. So at that point, I was like, I was just hoping, that I couldn't do anything else. Just hope, because eventually, just because the virus was is spreading so fast, nobody knows how to handle it. So like what happened to Italy will happen to USA, and so yeah, we just went down hoping to play. First we had the news of playing in front of nobody, so closed door, and then when was that, Grant? Practice? Were you in practice?
Yeah, we were at shoot around. Everything was normal. Like we just went through a normal shoot around, and then we kind of got the word. We got the word that like the Big Ten, SEC, and the AAC canceled theirs when we were like halfway through shoot around,
Yeah.
and then right as shoot around was coming to an end, we got the word that our tournament was canceled, and we weren't playing that night.
So how did they break it? Were you guys all in the room? It was at shoot around when you guys found out?
Yeah, exactly. I shoot around. I mean, we gather all in midcourt, and coach was actually, even him seems to be surprised by it, and Ronnie, like at the end of coach speech, Ronnie jumped up and said, "Yeah, it's legit. This is done. Like, they locked everything."
So then what? Would you guys just go back to the hotel, get your stuff, and just get on the bus and come
At
home?
that point, we were like, well, I mean, I guess just because we gotta go back home, we just start hooping a little bit more, just hanging around.
Yeah, we
Uh,
kind of just messed around a little bit at the
yeah.
gym, and then went back to the hotel.
So emotionally, it didn't actually hit the time of the news, but I mean, doing like the ride back, and in our locker room here at JPJ, it hit. Like,
Right. Because at that point, we were still holding on to hopefully that we'll have the NCAA tournament. So it wasn't kind of like everything's over. It's just like this week, but maybe we can play again next week.
Right, because we had no idea at that point, right?
Yeah, and then on the bus ride back, we found out about the NCAA tournament, and that's when it kind of started to set in. And then it really started to set in kind of once we were back at the locker room, back at JPJ, and everybody was kind of grabbing their stuff, and it was like, wow, like it's over. Like the seniors, like kind of keeping their uniform instead of turning it back in at the end of a road trip was kind of when it started to hit.
That's so weird.
Yeah, everybody was like, 'cause I mean, now like nobody really knows exactly when we'll be back. So like the guys that are out of town that can go home are just like buying like one way tickets. Like they don't know, we don't know when they'll come back if it'll be this semester in the summer. So it was like kind of weird. Like when are we gonna see everybody again?
So it is pretty much everyone gone, like out of Charlottesville, or did some of the people stick around? Obviously, you did because you're from Charlottesville, but
Right. So I stuck around, and then
and
Thomas is
yeah,
hanging out with me. He's at my house now, and then it's like some of the
and of
international guys are
course,
staying.
like at the moment, the concerns were the internationals, like Poppy and Cody and me. So you're the one that are probably not going home. Just not because we are afraid of the not going through it, but coming back here, they might not let us. So there's no reason to risk it.
Francisco and Cody were saying if they go home, they have to be quarantined for like 2 weeks
wow.
once they arrive back. So it's almost like it's kind of crazy. Like they go back and it's 2 weeks where they can't do anything before they can kind of start back into their lives.
All right, so right now is it kind of like just wait and see? You're just gonna wait it out, or is there a plan for the summer? You guys like planning for summer at this point, or
It's,
Yeah, I mean that's the vibe,
yeah.
and of course, I mean there's people that are mad,
So now it's kind of just
like
listen,
Tomas.
listen for President Ryan and see kind of when what he wants to do with like the students, and then we'll go from there. Because we're not allowed to do anything. We can't watch film, live, practice. Like
so it's a wrap? You guys are just done.
yeah, because they're telling everybody to just go home and stay home. Like they only want people to come back and get their stuff. They just found out today that they're getting like staff members to go into people's apartments and like ship anything home that they need. So they don't want anybody to come back to Charlottesville.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe Tomas, talk about you know, obviously everyone was looking forward to the NCAA tournament, and for you to you've got basically two chances of this thing, and one just snatched right up away from you. What are your thoughts? How, like in terms of like, all right, is it just on to the next one, like next year, let's get ready, or are you kind of salty about it a little bit?
He's tight.
I'm really salty. I'm not gonna lie. It's just because I've been chasing. I mean, I can do anything. Like I totally agree with 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 the decision and be careful and take care of our health first. And I agree, but it's just like come on. Like I've been chasing something that once I'm right in front of it, just gone again.
Right. Can't help but be disappointed, but it is what it is, right? This is a new world, a new unprecedented era. We just got to kind of deal with it, and maybe they'll do something in terms of giving you an extra year of eligibility. I know they're kind of debating that on how that looks for you guys. So maybe something good will come out of this.
Yeah,
But who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I mean, that's not question. Like, what if you a team that never went to the March Madness, and this was your year, and you have a senior in your team, and he never gets to experience it just because of this problem? Like,
right.
what is up for him? Like this is like dreams of people like taken away from them.
right. It's just
And
incredibly unfair.
yeah, like, you can't blame it to a virus. Like
Right.
it's a virus problem.
But I saw a video of a woman's coach finding out she was in an interview because it was her team's first time playing the tournament in over a decade, and it was like she found out in the interview that the tournament was canceled, and it's just sad to see because
That's
people worked the whole season, the whole off season for this
5 years. What are you talking about?
5 years for Tom.
Yeah,
But I mean, it is like it's just I think there's just so much unknown that it's like scary. So like
yeah.
as much as it stings and it hurts that we can't play, like we fully support it just because it's bigger than
yeah, it's
basketball.
yeah,
Like
it's
health
life.
comes first,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean, if you
It's
just look at the
sad to see
numbers,
people healthy.
I mean, once Rudy Gobert kind of came down with it, you do the math in terms of like, okay, it's really bad for older, over 70. And if players are getting it and spreading it around, then you're looking at, I mean, just within the ACC, if one guy has it and you've got Coach K, Larinaga, Hamilton, I mean, these guys are all over 70, right? I mean, it's not a good look if
yeah,
it starts going around, even without fans. I'm just talking like coaches.
yeah, it's
You're putting a lot of people at risk, and if somebody gets it in the middle of the tournament, what do? Like you quarantine everyone? Like it kind of like when you really start thinking about it, they had to do it. There's no
Yeah,
choice.
but the hope it was first to like postpone.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping too.
That was the hope part. Like that's the only ground we were standing on. But then they totally just canceled it. Boom. It was like, wow, okay.
yeah. You said like they had to. Like it's not worth it. You can't risk it so much, and you got to play it safe.
Yeah,
So
for sure, for sure.
So maybe let's fast forward a little bit now to now you've got an off season coming up next year. If you didn't see Virginia's like odds-on favorite to win the national title, I mean, how crazy is that?
right.
Um, what are your thoughts in terms of next season? I know. Let's start with you, Grant. I know you're sort of you obviously you're a senior, graduating option to potentially come back, or what? Are you just gonna wait and see what happens?
Yeah, kind of going through that process now, but definitely on the table to do grad school at UVA, and then uh, hopefully help out with the team again. Kind of go from there once the school decision is made.
So potentially, maybe you've got a chance now. One more
This
year.
kind of this kind of makes me want to come back more, just because
Yeah, it's so weird, right?
I was at the tournament. Because I feel like we were clicking at the right time, and it was gonna be really exciting. We're about to run it back, and then I think it just all of a sudden was gone.
Yeah, so it's so bizarre. I saw your story walking on the court. I was like, damn, it's for real. Like it's so hard to
Yeah, yeah,
you
lights
guys.
are out. Yeah,
I was like,
yeah,
man,
walking across. Yeah, nah.
uh,
And that like Mamadi was at 997 points.
man, that's just a
He
shame.
had 1,000 started the game.
I mean, Mamadi and Braxton are going to go down as obviously just because of the national title, right? The fans are gonna cherish them forever. So
Oh,
at least they got
yeah.
that. It's like Tomas didn't get a shot at this thing this year. It's like disappointing.
Yeah.
But so what about you, Tomas? What's the plan for this summer? Are you gonna, obviously right now you're on hold, but what was your plans kind of heading into this off
I
season?
think I got one shot now. So I mean, I'm definitely hungrier than ever. Just wanna go out there and start improving today. You know, at least I can get more ready and I can bring what Braxton and Mamadi could help us. You know, they're a big factor of our success this season. And now we have new guys coming in, and older guys needs to step up even more. So I don't know.
It's a little early to start thinking about that now, but are you gonna be training in Charlottesville, you think, or you gonna
I
find
don't know. I'm trying to train anywhere
everywhere you go?
I am. Yeah.
Um, Cool. All right, man. I really appreciate you guys taking the time. Let's do one more quick off the beat. Grant, first experience at Aberdeen Barn. What'd you think?
Oh, it's great. I'm gonna go back soon for sure.
And what
I waited
tell
too
everyone
long.
what you ordered.
The lobster tail. Highly recommend the lobster tail.
Yeah, that's a Charlottesville staple. I'm really surprised you haven't had that before. Tomas, have you eaten at the Aberdeen Barn?
No.
All right,
I waited too long.
Grant, you got to take him.
I waited too long.
Um, talk about what about? I know Tomas, Grant was telling everyone how great of a cook you are, but when you eat out, where do you guys like to eat out?
Where or what?
Both. Where and what?
Oh, where? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of good places here in Charlottesville, especially because I come from like two towns. Like one was Brandonton, where I spent my high school times, and one was Ottumwa in Iowa, where I spent my JUCO times. There weren't much good restaurants, and here there's actually like five or six where you can just go and have a good meal at. So I don't have a favorite one, and if I respond to the what, I probably would just try to expand my knowledge in food. And if I like something, I ask to the waiter to ask the chef what they did, how they cooked it, stuff like that. And so it's not more of like I don't know own pleasure, more like just learning and understanding more about this lifestyle.
So how did you start your sort of passion for cooking? Was this in an early age, or did you just pick it up when you went away from home?
I picked it up because my mom had to work like 24/7. She would always be out, and anytime she could come back soon enough, I was the one that would start the water to boil, so she'd be ready to go. Like, oh, or just start boiling some water, for the pasta or stuff like that. We heat something that she cooked, and she's a great cook as well. So it's not that I never had experience of a good cuisine, but so yeah, I mean, I picked it up because I love to eat. I love to eat, so the more good thing I know how to cook, the more pleasurable it could be a meal.
That's awesome. And Grant, maybe tell everyone how good is his cooking?
Oh, it's great. It's really we just
There's a lot of ground of improvement.
he
But,
says it's not
but
good, but it's really good. He just made a frittata with hot dogs, spinach, a bunch of stuff in it just like 30 minutes ago.
And fire. All right.
Fire.
That,
Fire.
that is awesome. Well, we'll wrap it up here. I know it's a late night. Really appreciate you guys jumping on and updating the fans on what else going on, and we'll be in touch soon, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
y'all for all the support for sure.
Appreciate it. Have a good night, fellas.
You too.
sends it down with a tomahawk slam. Jerome off the glass, count it, and one. Jim Jerome.